Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening everyone. 20 dangerous bushfires continue to burn on the state's west, with people near Corinna, Sandy Cape and surrounds on high alert tonight. Fire crews are continuing to call for interstate backup, with more high winds and heat on the way tomorrow.
The West Coast's tricky terrain continuing to prove a problem for fireys on the front line.
Not many access roads on that particular area of the West Coast, and we are reluctant to put crews in unsafe positions.
Corinna and surrounds deemed not safe to return to. For people near Sandy Cape, the advice is to take shelter now. Residents near Pyman River warned it's too late to leave. With predictions today's heatwave will continue.
And we have issued a severe weather warning for the potential for some gusts up to around 80 to 90 kilometres per hour in the west of the state, starting from overnight tonight and through into tomorrow.
The TFS continuing to call upon interstate crews to assist, adding to a team of 50 on the ground and 32 aircraft, as the number of individual fires hits 20.
The conditions over the next 24-48 hours are going to be very challenging for our fire crews and our crews that operate out of aircraft.
Today's still proving too soon to investigate just how many thousands of hectares of land have been destroyed.
A large proportion of our reserve estate in these particular areas will be impacted. We're expecting some adverse impacts, but at this stage, without having done the assessments, we can't provide detail.
As the wait for an incoming cool change continues.
We don't believe we're going to control these fires until we get substantial rain, and that may take many days, if not weeks.
West Coast residents are urged to stay on top of updates on the Tas Alerts app. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
On the eve of a meeting with the Industrial Commission, the Nursing Union has levelled bombshell claims the Health Department is in an unofficial hiring freeze. The allegations come amid chronic understaffing which continues to plague our public hospitals.
An updated protocol causing major headaches. The Nursing Union claims agency staff are limited to 3-month contracts, discouraged from filling sweeping vacancies.
This is a cost-saving strategy and it's going to have impact on staff and patients.
Saying the move points to a workforce freeze,
which seems to be in a bid to meet the efficiency dividend that the government outlined.
And comes amid a vacancies dispute. The department's figures show there's just over 100 unfilled positions statewide, but the union is calling its bluff, pointing to documents the actual figure is far higher.
At the Royal Hobart Hospital just this week, there's around 380 full-time equivalent positions that are vacant.
The Department of Health flat out refusing the claims, saying the ANMF statements of a workforce hiring freeze are untrue and the protocol is considered best practice in health system governance.
We have employed over 2,000 health professionals since April last year. So any talk of a freeze is not true.
The recruitment blitz and this protocol are at odds with one another and shows no respect to the hard-working nurses, midwives and their colleagues.
The latest revelations, yet another blow to budget concerns.
The government's been secretive about how it's going to cut health since it's handed down its last budget. You don't fix health by cutting health.
Placing more pressure on the government's health dealings as air conditioning woes at the LGH heat up.
We know over $10,000 worth of medication was discarded last week.
Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
Former Labor leader Rebecca White has resigned from state politics to focus on her federal election campaign in Lyons. Her 14-year career in the Tasmanian Parliament saw her serving as Social Services Minister before becoming opposition leader, enduring 3 election losses. Pushing for more urgent care clinics across the state is among her first priority as a federal candidate.
In Tasmania we have 5, so we are already doing incredibly well when it comes to accessing these types of services, but I know that we can do better.
Labor holds Lyons by a wafer-thin margin of less than 1%, the second tightest red seat in the nation. A recount will be held for White's vacated state seat. A Tasmanian independent MP is calling for the release of the full Deloitte report commissioned as part of a planned reform which would have seen mandatory pre-commitment cards implemented across all Tasmanian pokies venues. Christy Johnston says it's 4 months overdue.
What they have released in Parliament in October last year was a work plan. That is not the report. It was a work plan given to Deloitte in order to do the report. We want to see the full report unredacted.
Well, it's important that the work is thorough and all issues are canvassed, and as soon as the report is completed, it'll be released.
Treasury data shows Tasmanians lost $16.5 million to pokie machines in December last year alone. The Albanese government will step in and buy Rex Airlines if a final round of bidding fails to find a buyer for the embattled regional carrier. A news Rex might keep flying is being well received on King Island and the northwest, where locals and businesses rely on regular flights with the carrier. The Devonport Chamber of Commerce is hopeful a stronger Rex will help bolster services at the city's airport.
Reliability is the most important thing, but also that competition to drive some more competitive prices. We'd love to see more flights, more routes, more options for the community.
Last year, Qantas reduced daily services to Devonport before reversing the decision after community backlash. Australian cricket has been rocked by scandal this afternoon. Xander Maguire has the latest from Cricket Australia headquarters, and Xander, Tasmanian spinner Matthew Kuhnemann, has been accused of having a suspect bowling action.
Kim, the International Cricket Council has reported Matt Kuhnemann for his bowling action in Australia's recent series in Sri Lanka, and he now must undergo biomechanical testing to prove that he doesn't throw the ball. Now, this news has stunned Australian cricket officials today, given Kuhnemann has been playing professional cricket for 8 years, including 5 test matches, and the issue has never been flagged. And it couldn't come at a worse time for the left-arm off-spinner after a breakout series as Australia's leading wicket taker.
There's a 15-degree leniency in an action, and I'm assuming that he'll just need to have that scrutinised and see whether it fits into that regulation.
Now, Kuhnemann is already back in Australia and will likely undergo that testing in Brisbane in the next 3 weeks. Until then, he can continue to play for Tasmania in the Sheffield Shield, but is banned from international cricket.
The state government is pumping more money into its high-vis army initiative to get more tradies into the workforce. But it's got a lot of heavy lifting to do to meet local demand for homes and its share of the national housing target.
Tasmania's newest construction workers hitting the tools on a new housing complex in Launceston, coming through the High-Vis Army initiative.
You're not sure sort of what to expect, but like the High-Vis Army, they just like do so much for you and help you out.
At the start, it's a bit heavy on you, but after a few weeks you get used to it.
The scheme training up 3,000 construction apprentices and trainees over the past 4 years, now expanding to get more sparkies and plumbers into the workforce.
Projects like the North West Transmission Line, we look at stadiums, we look at the new houses built, they all need to be powered.
Without the infrastructure that civil construction puts in place, houses can't be built.
But with $27 billion in projects in the pipeline over the next 10 years, more hands on deck are needed.
At the moment, we've got 25,500, so we're 44% short of where we need to be.
Especially for housing, as demand continues to outstrip supply.
We're building around 2,500 homes a year. That needs to rise to over 3,000. And to meet the Housing Accord target of 5,300, we need even more.
While the public housing waitlist continues to climb, hovering around 5,000 people, the government's track record on previous targets coming under criticism by the opposition.
There are 1,000 fast-tracked homes, 6 of those have been built. It's harder to build a house in Tasmania now than it was 10 years ago.
Boosting the workforce, among a range of plans the Housing Minister says the Liberals have to tackle the shortfall.
With our expanded planning reforms to unlock land for 10,000 homes in Greater Hobart, that land is the critical ingredient to ensuring that we can get more homes out of the ground.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
As the summer heat once again soars, so do the dangers of leaving children and pets alone in hot cars. It's prompted a timely reminder to drivers not to become complacent, especially on sunny days when just a few minutes could prove deadly.
Mum of two, Zoe, knows all too well the juggle of day-to-day life with children.
Sometimes you really just want to run a couple of errands. You want to do more in your day than you're able to with kids.
She says although it's tempting for busy parents to leave children in the car unattended, the dangers outweigh the convenience.
It's probably not worth the risk, even if it seems easy.
Even on a medium day, sort of low 20s, the temperature in the car can still be 30 degrees above the outside temperature if it's sunny.
This year alone, the RACT has responded to more than 110 call-outs to rescue children, adults and pets from locked cars.
The most common cause we get is children holding keys inside the vehicle, particularly young children in a car seat.
It's probably something that is in the back of my mind that could happen quite easily.
It's a situation which can quickly turn deadly.
The smaller you are, the more susceptible you are to dehydration and stress, and that is what causes really serious health concerns and tragically even death in severe incidences.
And it's not just children members of the public need to be aware of.
Each year we respond to approximately 70 to 80 pets locked in vehicles.
Making sure our loved ones aren't left in the elements. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
Hobart City Council will make a decision on the future of e-scooters at a council meeting on February 24. It comes after a workshop was held yesterday into the services run in the city. On the agenda, a recent report which surveyed 400 residents. 57% said they supported the continuation of the two-wheel services in Hobart. The current permit with micro-mobility company Beam is due to expire in May. Tasmanian families are invited to a free outdoor screening of Disney's Out of Mind at Parliament Lawns on Sunday. Organised by Variety Tasmania, the film follows a young girl with cerebral palsy who is non-verbal and in a wheelchair. Variety hopes it will inspire a wider conversation about the challenges children living with a disability face.
Not being verbal is not necessarily an indication of people not having communication skills. All what we need to do is just provide them with the tools that they need to communicate.
Excited for everyone to be able to bring their own picnics, and we've got beanbags supplied, and looking forward to a beautiful evening out on the lawns.
The film starts at 5:30. The Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra has welcomed 8-time award winner Joseph Tawadros to their ranks ahead of their sold-out performance at the Odeon on Friday night. The London-based musician will show off his skills with the ancient guitar-like instrument, the oud, hoping the audience will walk away with a newfound love for music they might not have listened to before.
A lot of the repertoire is about, human emotions and what ties us together, the similarities that we have rather than the differences.
The show is part of the TSO's experimental concert series. As the final touches are put on the Devonport Strikers' new grandstand at Valley Road, a further $150,000 in government funding will finish the job, adding 55 car parks and a new fence to stop stray balls leaving the field. It's a goal realised for the club, which has more than 1,000 members.
Without the government support and the strong level of government support that's been provided, we can't provide these sorts of facilities to our players and also attract elite level content to Tasmania.
We know the value of having good sporting infrastructure because we want Tasmanians to be out playing sport.
The club hopes it will be finished in time for next month's start of the NPL season.
Despite taking 10 wickets across both innings in the Tigers' Shield win over Victoria, Kieran Elliott is notably absent from the 15-man squad for tomorrow's one-day cup match. The Scott Mason medalist has his rose-tinted glasses on though. The win keeps their Shield final hopes alive.
Realistically, we kind of put ourselves in some pretty tricky positions over the last few days, so to come away with the win is really special, and I think it speaks to the momentum we'll take going forward.
Fellow bowler Lawrence Neil-Smith will miss at least tomorrow's match as he awaits results of scans following an apparent hamstring injury on day 3. But Hurricane star Mitch Owen will pad up for the Tigers tomorrow, back from playing for the Royals in South Africa's T20 competition. Well, it didn't go to plan with an early exit from finals. Offers are piling up from teams around the world since his heroics in the Big Bash final, but he's keeping a level head.
got a one day for Tassie. All my focus is going towards, and then Shield cricket next week. So let the external stuff take care of itself, and then just focus on what I can do really.
After the Shield, Owen will kit up for Washington Freedom in America's T20 series from May. Tasmanian diver Emily Maney announcing her retirement after a 17-year career. Having represented Australia at the Commonwealth Games, Diving Australia said Emily's reached some of the highest pinnacles as they wished her well, with thanks for her hard work, discipline and grit.
Good evening, Hobart. 32 degrees today. Launceston warm as well, 31 the top. Devonport reached 26 and Burnie 25. Grove hit 33. Bushy Park and Strawn sweltered under 32 degrees. Flinders Island 29. King Island, St Helens and Friendly Beaches 25. Lowhead 24 and Lyawini 21. The north and east had most of the cloud today. Clear skies over the west and less smoke was about. Cloud with the front is through the Bight along with the attached low. More cloud inland and over the tropics. And tropical cyclone Zelia has appeared off the Pilbara. We'll keep an eye on that. Now that low and cold front will be with us late tomorrow with a high pressure ridge following. The cyclone up north will remain off the coast for now. Winds tending more northwesterly tomorrow afternoon as that system approaches the state. They'll blow up to 35 knots over the southwest. So we do have a severe weather warning that applies tonight and in the morning for parts of the west, northwest and central plateau. We have a gale warning on between Southeast Cape and Low Rocky Point. A strong wind warning from Low Rocky Point to Stanley and also from Flinders Island to Southeast Cape. Hobart tomorrow and New Norfolk, another hot day, highs of 33 with the late change, 34 for Cygnet. Showers increasing in Launceston, 30 the top, same for Campbelltown, Devonport a high of 26. Rain on the way for Burnie, 25, 32 for Strawn, Smithton 27 degrees. The change less severe in the east, St Helens 27, Swansea a possible shower and 30, Fingal 28 degrees. Now on Friday, maybe a thunderstorm over the northeast with showers mainly over the west and far south. Showers on Saturday more frequent over the west and south and some snow in the mountains. And just a few scattered showers into Sunday, easing in the afternoon. Sunny in Perth, a possible shower and cooler in Adelaide, a late shower and after a warm day, 37 in Melbourne before the change. Showery weather still over Sydney and Brisbane, stormy over the tropics. Still warm, 28 in Hobart, 27 right now in Launceston, 24 and cloudy in Devonport. For those that travel the Midland Highway a fair bit, passing Kempton, look up on the hill. The white painted rocks tell us that the Kempton Festival is on this Sunday. Lots going on. There's the sheep racing championships, ferret racing, sheep tossing, also the gumboot tossing, ducks and dogs line dancing. Well, the line dancing's for the humans. But Kim, I've got a spare seat in the car. Do you want a lift?
Well, sounds all right. I'll see you there. Thanks, Merv. That is all your news for now. Thanks for being with us tonight. Good night.